But every year I'm paying $2,500 in electricity.
Pricing is important. I don't want to pay too much for electricity, and it's important because we run a lot of stuff in the house.
Bill shock has taken on a whole new meaning for my family.
Bill shock with a smile.
Absolutely.
Regardless of where you are, every home in Australia is looking at between $105 and $250 a month for basic power. Single mother of three, Irene Harper, draws all her power directly from the electricity grid, and it costs a small fortune.
I just find it's just outrageously high. It's doubled in the last 3-4 years.
How much are you paying on average every quarter for power?
Between $600 and $700 if I pay on the day, and if I'm 1 day late, I'm paying between $700 and $800.
Irene and her three boys are a typical Australian family. They run everyday appliances, computers, nothing really out of the ordinary. And every day they're turning appliances off at the power point and still see little change in their bills.
I just want to know why it has doubled in the last 3 years. It's ridiculous, it's outrageous.
Tonight, old technology, poles and wires, is up against newer tech like solar panels and the latest to enter the market, the Powerwall battery. 3 homes, 3 families, all identical in the size of their houses, the appliances they run, but their bills are incredibly different.
I just thought, 1, it's a good thing to do for the environment, 2, it's a good thing to do longer term for costs, and in a country like this, why wouldn't you?
Father of 3, Craig Buller installed solar panels more than 5 years ago. He took advantage of healthy rebates on the panels themselves and healthy payment for any power he put back into the grid.
What has been your quarterly bill on average since you switched over to solar virtually full time?
Credits.
You're making money?
Yeah, credits.
Imagine his surprise when he received a bill this month and for the first time has to pay for power.
Which is a bit of a shock.
You've got bill shock for the first time in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, and it's $100 odd, but usually it's got a credit there.
Your average 5 kilowatt solar system costs between $6,000 and $8,000 to install and should pay itself off over 4 to 6 years, depending on state government rebates.
How big a difference has it made to your power bill?
It's reduced the power bill by 90%.
You're kidding?
I'm not kidding.
Nick Fitzner's astonishing power bill cut is the result of a world first. He's the first person in the world to run his home off the Tesla Powerwall battery.
Okay, so this is the Tesla Powerwall. This is basically the battery. It's where all the power gets stored. And then as we move along here, we have the battery interface, which is hooked up to the inverter, which is where the solar panels hook into everything.
Basically, all the power his solar panels collect is stored in the battery during the day, giving him 6 hours of self-generated power every night.
Last quarter was $50.
$50.
$50. And 39 cents.
The Tesla Powerwall battery costs from $13,500 to install, but can pay itself off within 6 years.
All of a sudden, for the first time in history, it really is looking tenable for grid-connected homes to disconnect.
James Martin is from Solar Choice, energy brokers and comparison company. He believes battery storage has changed the power game forever and could even spell the end for electricity grids and heralding the death of one of Adelaide's ugliest eyesores, the metal and concrete Stobie pole.
By 2020, there could be anywhere between 1 to 2 million homes in Australia with battery storage installed.
Can you see a time when this can replace the grid entirely?
Definitely.
Chris Williams from Natural Solar also sees major changes on the horizon.
I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years' time people are installing multiple Tesla Powerwalls and disconnecting from the grid.
Already major power companies are investing in their own solar panels and battery technology, with 30 companies in Australia alone now developing battery storage units, which inevitably will force prices down.
Could you dream of a day where you were completely free of the grid?
Oh gosh, I look at that and I go, what would that be like? You know, not having to pay, pay Energy Australia, or, paying all the, just paying that bill.